Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Misa and today I am doing my March TBR. Today is the 1st of March, so I am already slightly late making this video. I actually filmed a wrap-up video and I didn't like it, so I have to refilm that as well after this. But anyway, it's okay. I have been waiting for construction noise to stop all day long. It's been about 4 hours since I've been waiting to film, so it's now late in the afternoon, so hopefully the construction noise won't come back. Anyway, that is very irrelevant information. So I am having a dilemma about this TBR thing because building TBRs are really fun, so I really enjoy this process. But I have found in the last couple of months that I'm not really good at following the books. Sometimes I will insert books that weren't on the TBR, sometimes I won't read the books that were on the TBR, and I just feel like, is that even allowed? I don't know, I just feel like I like to stick to the plan, but currently I'm not, and my reading speed has been so slow. I'm just not reading as much as I was this time last year, so the duration of 2020, I was in a massive reading slump, so at least I'm out of that now, but I'm reading pretty slowly, so I don't want to tie myself down too much with the books I'm going to talk about today, but I still wanted to make this video because there are a few specific books that I definitely want to read this month. So without further introduction, let's get started. The first book on my list is The Ghost of the Tsunami by Lloyd Parry. This is a non-fiction which details the events surrounding the earthquake and tsunami which hit Fukushima, Japan in 2011, in which more than 18,500 people were killed. March 11th marks the 20th anniversary of this disaster, so I would really like to read this book this month. I tried to read this in March last year. I couldn't get through it. It's written really well, but the images are just so haunting and the stories are just so tragic that I couldn't get through this book. But I will try to get to the end of this book this month. The second book on my list is also a priority for me this month because I will be participating in the March of the Mammoths Readathon, and I have chosen The True Story of the Vendetta of the 47 Ronin from Ako, written by Thomas Harper. So I've mentioned this book before in another video where I talk about the 12 biggest books on my TBR, in which I mentioned that I just have to pick one of those books per month for 2021 to get through them all. So for March of the Mammoths, we only have to pick a book that is above 800 pages. This comes in at 843 pages. It's a non-fiction, so my first two priority reads are both non-fictions based on Japan, so that's clearly my mood for this month. The next book on my list is another non-fiction, so I'm not really sure whether I'll get to it depending on my mood. But anyway, this book came up because when I made my video for the Booktube spin at the end of January, I had a brief chat with Rick, who is the host of the Booktube spin, linked down below, about this book. So I thought I wanted to put it on my TBR for February, but it didn't quite fit, so I'm going to do it this month. And that book is Absolutely on Music by Haruki Murakami and the conductor Seiji Ozawa. So I am a musician, so I think I should be reading this. This has been sitting on the shelves for quite some time. I actually think that this book belongs to my husband. Anyway, it's mine now, so I think I will try to get to this as soon as I finish the Ronin book. The next book on my list is not even released yet, so this is the first time I think I'm going to be reading an official new release of anything because I'm usually not that good at keeping up with those kind of things. That book is Flamefall by Rosaria Munda, which is the second book in the Aurelian Cycle series. I only recently read the first book of that series, namely Fireborn, and I really enjoyed that, so I am super excited about learning more about that world with dragons. The next book that I would like to get into this month is The Divine Comedy by Dante, and I have purchased that on Kindle for now, but I would love to get hold of the hard copy as soon as I can, as soon as I am out of my book buying ban. I should probably just lift the ban altogether because I am buying books left, right and centre, but I think having stated that I'm in a book buying ban slows down my purchasing, so I think it's still effective to some extent. I'm hugely influenced by Tom from Tom LA Books on this because he is currently running a series on the Divine Comedy over at his channel, which I will link down below. So I'm really looking forward to following along. I've never read it before and I'm a pianist, so I have also decided to learn the Dante Sonata by Liszt, and I'm just having a lot of fun. That is a 17-minute piece, by the way, so I hope that I can get through that this year. Lastly, I would like to talk about a graphic novel series which I recently discovered called The Blue Giant by Shinichi Ishizuka. And this is a Japanese author. The first 2 volumes of this graphic novel series is available in English, and I think the 3rd and the 4th volumes are only coming out in August. I discovered this series just recently because I got an email from Apple Books which featured that, so I went and looked into it. It's about this Japanese high school student called Dai who lives in Sendai in Japan, who comes across jazz one day and he decides that he wants to be the top jazz saxophonist kind of thing. So I'm really interested in this story because I'm married to a jazz saxophonist, so I'm intrigued by this journey, whether there are any similarities and stuff, and I've already made a start on it. I am totally hooked, and it's quite rare because I normally don't read graphic novels, but I've already read 2 volumes. I'm trying to tell myself to slow down reading these because there are 10 volumes, and I think there's a couple of other offshoot series. I'm not quite sure. I don't know enough about the series, but anyway, all of them are in Japanese, and I'm really interested to purchase the hard copies in English because I would like Julian, my husband, to read it as well. I think he will really like it. I don't think I can actually handle the wait because I think the English versions are only being released quite slowly, so it's quite frustrating to wait for the next volume, isn't it? So I think I will only start the English version much later when all the 10 books are available. Okay, those are the 6 things going on my TBR for March, and I think that's quite a lot for me because I've not finished reading some of the books from my February list, but I'd hate to drop them because I chose them for a reason. So I think I want to keep going with those, but it might mean that I will be playing catch up with my TBR for the rest of the year, but that is okay, I think. Unless a big spurt of reading speed hits me somewhere along the line, which will be very convenient, but we'll see. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Please let me know down below if you have read any of the books that I've selected this month, or if you are participating in the March of the Mammoths. Please let me know what your selection is because I'd love to know other big books that are out there. Please consider subscribing if you'd like to see more videos from me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!